Sup nerds, I'm Cuppa Joey and welcome back to another episode of Hobby Drama. Now, as you probably guessed from the title of this video, we're going to be having a look at Neopets, and this is going to be slightly different from the normal Hobby Dramas, a little bit similar to the Hetalia episode. As I was witnessing this drama as it was unfolding, I love Neopets, I play it every day still. And you do see a lot of this drama still popping up now in the odd little Neopets groups that I myself am in too. So I normally like to cover drama that I'm not aware of so I can look in with fresh eyes, but this one I really wanted to cover just because I was aware of what was going on and I think that you're all going to find it really interesting. For this episode, I would like to give a huge thank you to the user I am not a windmill on Reddit, who could also be found on sapphoofficial.tumblr.com. I wanted to thank them for taking the time and the energy to write up all of the Neopets drama first of all, but also for giving me permission to read this out on my channel. As we are both fans of Neopets, they have been extremely helpful in giving me the resources to create this episode, so I wanted to give a huge thank you to them for being so helpful. Now, without any further ado, sit back, relax, and we're going to be having a little look at some Neopets drama. UC Gates, or that time someone gave away thousands of dollars on Neopets, then trolled the entire community. I recently posted some other Neopets drama and people seem to enjoy it, so here's something a great deal longer. It's a doozy. Now, I will actually be covering that post in this episode as well because it's a lot shorter, but it does talk about the same issues. This happened in November 2019, but I've been too lazy to write up the story until now. It's known throughout the Neopets community by many names: UC Gate, Savage Saturday, UC Santa, etc. It is undoubtedly one of the biggest bits of recent Neopets drama. I'm just going to say now, I do apologise if you hear any crows in the background. There are crows, like, just screaming in my garden. There's not really much I can do about it at this point. What is Neopets? If you were a kid on the internet in the early 2000s, you probably know what Neopets is. It was the original virtual pet site. Essentially, kids could adopt and name small images of fictional animals. You could play minigames, collect and sell items, explore the Flash-based world, and chat with people using a bare bones and heavily censored forum. Please note that everything that I'm showing you now is just exactly what Neopets looks like today. I still play regularly, so everything you're seeing is just how it's shown now. So, if you were somebody that played Neopets back in the early 2000s, back in its heyday, then some of this may look a little different to what you remember. Founded by two college students, it was originally backed by Scientologists, which the founders didn't know at first. Which I don't know about everyone here, but I didn't know that either, but hey, the more you know. Before being bought by Viacom, which is Nickelodeon, and is now owned by Jumpstart, an edutainment company. Since the early days of the site, one of the most important things was paintbrushes, items that could change your pet's colour. Rarer ones add unique features like costumes, wings, or new poses. Back in the site's heyday, they were impossibly expensive for most kids playing, an unattainable dream, but are easier to acquire today. Neopets still has a surprisingly large fan base, though nowhere near what it was, mostly made up of 20 to 30-somethings who grew up playing Neopets as a kid. Woo, talking about me. By now, it's a genuine surprise to see an actual child in the Neopets community. Almost everyone is there for nostalgia, myself included. And people are willing to spend egregious amounts of money and/or time for a taste of their childhood. Unconverted Neopets. On the 16th of April 2007, Neopets underwent a major change, adding the ability to customize your pets. This was controversial for a couple of reasons, but the relevant one is that nearly all of the Neopet art changed. The poses and designs players adopted were converted to new art without warning, unless you had a painted pet. Certain painted pets were allowed to avoid conversion and stay as unconverted or UC pets, though you could still choose to convert them. This was a relief for a lot of people who had already painted their pets, but you couldn't make a new unconverted Neopet and still can't. If you wanted, for example, the old royal girl Aisha design, the unconverted one on the left here and the converted one on the right, well, tough luck. The only way to get one now was by someone else giving you one, or through trading. See, you're not supposed to trade Neopets for Neopoints, Neocash, items, or real-world money. That's against the terms of service. Only Neopets can be exchanged for other Neopets. Unconverted Neopets started out uncommon, but over time as more accounts went inactive, more kids converted their pets without knowing, they increased exponentially in value. Black market Neopets trading had existed beforehand, but now unconverted Neopets go from anywhere from $10 to $300, with rumours of incredibly rare / well-named ones even going for thousands of dollars. It's risky business since you can easily get your account frozen if you get caught, locking those unconvertibles in a banned account permanently. Worse yet, most unconverted Neopets are from hacked accounts. Back in 2013, there was a database leak that many hackers have gone through to find valuables. Having an unconvertible, especially a rare one, can make your account a target for hacking, though most hackers don't hit active accounts. Since they're so rare, having an unconverted is seen as a status symbol. People will brag about how long they've had them, if they were gifted them, how long it took to trade for them, etc. Some people collect and hoard them. It makes the trading community a pretty hostile place, and people are very slow to trade the more valuable ones. Stuck pets. Now that we've talked about unconverteds, it's time to switch gears a bit. You can abandon your Neopets and toss them into the pound for other users to adopt. The catch is that Neopets runs on spaghetti code and the pound is broken. Certain 2-character strings get stuck, essentially meaning that you can't see more of them by hitting the View More Pets button, and can only be adopted by searching for their names manually. But since Neopets was popular in the early 2000s, they often have terrible names like XXX Sunshine Queen XXX or Sasuke Lover 1992, making them difficult to search for. But people do it, OP included, and there's an entire website dedicated to finding pets stuck in the pound. As you can see on this link, there are a lot, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. It's impossible to guess how many pets are stuck in a pound, easily in the 100,000s, most of whom are lost to time. If you put these two things together, you'd think that there might be a chance of finding unconverted pets stuck in the pound, but people have been doing it for years, meaning that all of the obvious names were long found. Which brings us to the spreadsheet method. I'm not sure of the exact origin, but the spreadsheet method was popularized by the page Tileset, which has since been taken down. Just a little bit of information for those of you that aren't actually familiar with Neopets: the slash, then the tilde, and then the name, that is how users are shown on Neopets, so it's kind of like the same as Reddit's u/username. Luckily, the information is now on Megablade, for those curious. I believe you'll have to be logged into Neopets to see it. Basically, you could build a bot to find stuck Neopets, but the bot detection is pretty good, so you'd risk being banned. One user figured out how to get around it by creating image URLs of Neopet names and inputting them into an HTML file. You could preview their icon. They then created a spreadsheet that lets you create thousands of these image previews, usually by tacking on additional numbers and characters to the pet's name, as well as linking them to the pet's webpage. The result looks like this. All you had to do was search through the icons for uncustomized, unconverted pets, which were easy to spot, and then check if they had owners. Now, unconverted trading is notoriously hard to get into, often requiring months upon months of trading to even get a crappy one. Like everyone else in the community, I thought, oh wow, this is my chance, and spent a lot of time with the tileset method. The results? Absolutely nothing, or at least absolutely nothing for most people. A few people found some mediocre pets, and one user managed to get an unconverted plushie uni. A pet so rare that there were probably less than 20 on active accounts. It was an exciting time, with people who found unconverteds getting reported under the pretense that they were lying and had bought their pets. But the general mood was excitement. Maybe we could get our dream Neopets if we just searched hard enough. And then, someone posted a list of 700 unconverted Neopets stuck in the pound. 22nd of November, 2019. Enjoy or something, I don't know, began the page. I just want to see the PC go crazy. Approximately 700 pets. The vast majority of them were fairly common, but there was some crazy rare stuff as well. I never did the maths, but it was upwards of $2,000 worth of pets on the black market. It was a mad dash. Everyone went for their dream pets first, but settled for whatever they could grab. So, kind of like Black Friday, but Neopets version. Someone then bragged that they had grabbed 12 unconverted from the list. The gifter responded to them with "Get fricked and commit Sudoku, greedy beatard," and was promptly banned. I was at work when this happened and completely missed the original drop, but it was pretty obvious from the general reaction on Discord, Reddit, forums, Facebook, on-site and off, that people were salty. People often joke that Neopets is dying, but there are a lot of active users. 700 wasn't even enough to placate the trading community, much less everyone who wanted it unconverted but was too scared to get into trading. Thousands of people suddenly wanted unconverted. They flocked to the trading boards in droves. That night was the craziest I've ever experienced on Neopets, winding up in a 30-person Discord call in which a well-known hacker converted an unconverted Darrigan Woki, one of the rarest unconverteds. The trading community was in an uproar for a few days. Regular on the trading boards lambasted the new unconverteds devaluing their pets. New players entered the trading scene. Some people got their dream pets and stopped trading entirely. The big question was, what will happen to the new trading market? Well, a year later, I can say pretty much nothing, but it was a big talking point for quite a while. The original gifter was nicknamed Unconverted Santa. Lots of boards were made saying things like, "I've been so good, bring me an unconverted for Christmas, Unconverted Santa." Then you had people getting mad at the begging boards, people mad at the people mad, an endless spiral of salt. Things calmed down, slowly, until early December. Unconverted Santa returns. A few weeks later, a new user named Joanna Barker, Sweeney Todd reference, appeared claiming to be the UC Santa. Whether or not they were is a question for the ages. They dropped a few more pets to let people know they were legit, and then said that they wanted to help people out with finding as many dream pets as they could. The community again went nuts. Lots of begging, lots of salt, big lists were made up of people's dream pets for the unconverted Santa to look at. A few people reported receiving pets, but not many. Joanna Barker turned off their mails so no one could directly contact them, but that didn't stop people from trying. Lots of people asked how they did it. The spreadsheet method couldn't work that well, could it? We never really got an answer. Then, Joanna Barker mentioned that something would happen on the 28th of December 2019. The first few boards mentioned it just in passing before making a bigger and bigger deal about it. By the later boards, they were kicking things off with the 28th of December, 6 PM NST, don't forget. Word spread fast, everyone waiting with bated breath. Even if we didn't get our dream pets, the drama was going to be something worth witnessing. Hell, someone even made a bingo sheet. And of course, what a bingo sheet it is. It's a little bit dull, it's a bit black and white, I would have liked a few sort of Neopets pictures in there, but oh well. Things like people saying, "I have unconverted, so I won't try." Then people going, "I want an unconverted, I don't care which one it was, it doesn't have to be my dreamy." And then people making huge demands, and then people basically, brown-nosing comments. The 28th of December 2019. A couple of boards were made in advance by Joanna Barker, posting a few more stuck pets for people to snatch up. They requested that people didn't spam or beg, which they did of course, and just had to be patient. Pets would be posted on the page, "Can I has UCs?" or that's a bit of a throwback of old meme culture. And Joanna Barker said that there were over 8,000 page views on that day alone. Note that we're not sure if that's unique page views or not, but even if people were refreshing, that's a lot. 6 PM, all of us refresh to find this on the page. Mwahahahahaha, psych you bunch of beggars. If you want your dream unconverted, just buy it with USD. And then they have linked a few different, websites where you can, I guess, buy Neopoints, it looks like. I'm personally unsure whether you can actually buy the unconverted Neopets on those sites, but it seems like it's mostly just his Neopoints, Neocash, whatever. Either way, clearly against Neopets rules. One final view count clocked in at around 21,000. Joanna Barker left us with one final message before being permanently banned from mentioning cheating. And of course, the final message is one that you would expect. Big brain, small PP, or none at all, stonks. There was salt. Not funny. There was anger. I am never able to handle jokes, but that's not going to keep me off of Neopets or the internet, arty. I always take jokes seriously. And laughter. The real unconverteds were the friends we made along the way. Unconverted Santa was never heard from again. We'll never really know what their motives were. Maybe it was all planned by someone who owns the cheat sites. Maybe after the first drop, Unconverted Santa was contacted by an unconverted seller about doing this. Maybe Unconverted Santa and Joanna Barker are two different people. Or maybe Unconverted Santa started out with good intentions and then just got tired of people begging, posting those sites as a joke. A year later, it's mostly a fond memory, a weird story to tell. And you do have to wonder if more people illegally bought Unconverted as a result, and, well, I'm not going to out any cheaters, but yeah, probably. Edit, for those still trying to get back into their old Neopets accounts after reading this, if you can't get in, your best bet is to email support@neopets.com with all of the information you remember from your account, such as the town you made in, or if you ever bought Neocash and when. Best of luck! So while that's the end of the first post regarding the unconverted drama that I'm going to be talking about, I'm just going to backtrack a teensy bit so we can talk a little bit about one of the trolls that I've already mentioned. So I'm going to ask everyone to recall just for a moment the troll that converted the unconverted Wocky. The unconverted Daragal Wocky, that's one of the rarest, that they just, converted it for troll's sake. They are just a massive troll, and some of the screenshots go on to prove that even further. So here we have the topic, current topic, buying Neopets girlfriend, which if you ever played RuneScape, the buying GF, that's the vibe I got. Offering a VWN, that means like a fancy name, unconverted Daragan Wocky, must be down to suck dong, sends nudes to my Neomills. Someone replies with, are you having fun? And they go, also nothing below an 8 out of 10. If I'm offering whatever tier the Wocky is, you need to be at least an IRL girl of the same tier. Please continue sending applications. Did you hack this account? Honestly, I'm laughing. And then, no, this is my account. Why would I hack an account to get some head? Like the frick? Then just said, Tiny Mouse, you were so right. I saw you bazongas and then I was bazinga. You win, ball closed. I mean, I've not been in the dating scene for quite a few years now, so I didn't know that this is how it's going now. And, of course, the amount of rage just regarding this whole trolling thing, it keeps going. I'll show you the screenshots. Hearing literally everyone in voice chat yesterday talking about how much they hate each other in pound chat was praxis. Wow, I really wish I could have heard any of that. Also, the women on Neopets need to step their games up, y'all. Women really letting men treat you like this. If your husband doesn't parent the kids, please leave him. You are better as a single mum who spends all her money on Neocash. Oh, I feel like for that we have definitely not heard, like, exactly what's happened. In the voice chat, because damn, I really want to know now. At Safarina, please ma'am, may I have a crumb of coochie? If you're sending it for unconverted, I have some VBN tier 1s I got for free. Which, yeah, just taking the piss out of the Daragan Wocky guy. And of course a classic, posting in this board so when it's inevitably posted off-site, I'll be in the screenshot. Hey, Neopets user another day, you made it into my video as well, so kudos to you, brother. Also, they have just posted this link to, like, the Neopets crap posting voice call where people were all, like, calling in, trying to desperately get these unconverted Neopets. I just realised this is actually a Discord server that I am in myself, although I'm only really in it for the memes, so hey, there we go. Now, before I move into the next story, I thought I would just mention that there was a rumour that was going around that people thought that the staff members were actually involved in this whole unconverted Santa business. There is a picture of this email from the Neopets team where it says, yes, we released a few unconverted pets this morning, none of them would show as having any owners for a long period of time. The two you mentioned have no account history, so are fine, from Alice. Alice? Who the okay, no. But this small miscommunication where they said, oh, can you release these unconverted pets? And then they go, yeah, okay, they're visible now. People thought that was actually them gifting the pets. Wasn't the case. However, you may understand why people are a little bit more distrustful of the staff when you see the next post regarding the unconverteds. On to our second post, staff member is revealed to have a pet that shouldn't exist. So OP again gives a very, very brief explanation as to what unconverted pets are, but I assume that if you got this far in the video, you've got a good idea, so let's just move on. Our drama is about a Neopet named Jungle Boo, an unconverted Darrigan Bruce who is owned by a Neopet staff member. Yesterday, so this was posted about a month ago, so this would have been around October, September 2020. Someone posted on Twitter that Jungle Boo was only 2,600 days old, which would mean that it would have been created in 2013 after 2009. Bearing in mind that this is 4 years after they completely revamped and changed the art style to the converted ones. Neopet staff has always said that they can't create more unconverteds for technical reasons, despite it being something the user base has wanted for a decade. As in, every time people ask what should be added to Neopets, there will always be multiple people asking to be able to make new unconverteds, and here was living proof that it could be done. Neopets fans on Twitter created hashtag WakeUpTNT, that stands for the Neopets teams, for those of you not in our super cool groovy circle, and started harassing the staff member. Then, lo and behold, the Jungle Boo's age was changed to being 7,600 days old. Theoretically created on the day that the site launched. Pet age is yet another thing that the Neopets team has said that they can't alter, and again there was evidence that it could be done. Then Jungle Boo was converted. For reference, a Darrigan Bruce is worth around $70 on cheat sites, being a mid-range pet in popularity and somewhat rare. Also, her age was set for minus 150,000 hours, probably in error. Why she was converted, it's hard to say. By now, the cat's out of the bag. Maybe things will die down, maybe this will renew the argument that unconverted should be brought back. Whatever the case may be, Jungle Boo is now a sad-looking fellow with a new art style. So there we have it. That is the drama in a nutshell regarding the unconverted Neopets and what people were doing regarding trying to get these Neopets. I personally don't see how something can be worth such a status symbol that you're willing to, get rid of your Neopets account over it, because that's the thing, is that you can lose your account completely if you are found to be trading or whatever outside of the site. I'm kind of unique in that I'm somebody that plays Neopets every day and absolutely loves Neopets, but I'm not too concerned about getting an unconverted Neopet. Now, whenever I would be in a Neopets group sort of talking about where you could get certain things, whether there were certain, price drops, or whether the Kadotis were going to have new food added, I'm just coming up with random stuff that I'm pulling out of my bum as examples. Are the unconverted Neopets cuter? Hell yeah, I mean, there's a lot that's, for example, when we look at the Royal Girl Aisha, the pose in itself is a lot cuter. I like the fact that the Aisha is standing upright and all of that with the great big smile. Yes, they are absolutely adorable. If any of you remember your old Neopets accounts, if you sort of try and find the user lookup for there, then your pets may be unconverted if you were one of the people that used to play it back in the late 90s and the early 2000s. If this has made you interested in getting back into Neopets, just for a little bit of nostalgia, I really, really, really recommend it. It is so good, okay? I actually got back into it because February last year, I went to a charity shop and I found this little plushy red Usul. And I saw it and I was like, I recognise this, but I can't remember where from. And then I looked at the label and I saw Neopets and I thought, oh my goodness, Neopets! And I just got so excited and I was like, okay, I'm going to make this red Usul and I'm going to get back into Neopets. I'm going to play, I'm going to see how much it's changed, if it's still going. It is still going. Barely anything has changed. Now, I know that this is talking about, the unconverted and all that. yes, okay, some of the artwork has changed, like some things have a little bit more of an explanation, for example, but the overall way that it works is not changed. I just get so much nostalgia from it. I really thought that it would have been, like, turned into something strange or may have gone the way of, you know, Gaia Online and just disappeared. But it hasn't. It is still active, it is still around, and it is still so much fun. As I say, I still play every day, and all you're doing is just, like, collecting little items for your pets, but it is so much fun. The thing that we have to realise as well is that the Neopets team is very small. It's like a very tiny handful of people. There is like this World Cup type thing every year called UU Ball, which is like a fictional version of football. It's really fun. It's actually one of my favourite parts of the game each year. And they have this thing called a staff tournament where you actually choose like certain members of staff who will sign up for a team and sign up for a position, and then they'll play their own version of it, and you can like make a little bet on who you think you're going to win. I say bet, you know, you don't place any Neo points on it or anything. You just select who you think is going to win, and then they have their own game, and then they pick a star player, and if you pick correctly, then you get certain things. And when you look at that, there's only about 13 odd people. It is an extremely small team, so I can understand how they may feel slightly overwhelmed when it comes to the amount of interest that there is in Neopets. Because, yeah, okay, Neopets is quite fringe, it's not really that mainstream, however, there are still thousands of people that play it, and so for a tiny team, that's a lot of pressure, you know? However, having said that, I do think that there is a certain lack of transparency when it comes to how the Neopets team actually works. Because, yes, unconverteds are something that are asked for all the time. Like I said, I am in a few different Neopets groups. I used to be in, like, one of the biggest ones until they went full homophobe, but that's a drama story for another day. However, when it comes to what people want when the Neopets team, they often do a little thing like where they'll say, okay, we want to know what are you interested in, we're looking to update the site, and they have listened to people before. For example, with the recent apps, the Legends and Letters, that actually fell through because people weren't enjoying it anywhere near as much as they thought it would, as much as they thought they would, sorry. But they are now working on the beta site to make it more mobile friendly because people were complaining that you can't really play the site on your phone because it relies on Flash. So they do definitely listen to the user base, I think. However, having said that, they definitely don't listen when it comes to unconverteds. Now, I realise that it is a little bit of an issue when you consider the fact that the unconverteds, they're not just like one, like, single look, it's a different look for each freaking paintbrush. I think that perhaps they should bring out like a separate paintbrush or perhaps an item that you could put on your pet that just makes them look like the unconverted version of the thing. You know, of whatever paintbrush, whatever it is. So for example, if you get, I don't know, a fairy PO fin, and then if it has the, you know, you could have a unconverted token, say that could be the item that is then put on your thing, and then boom, once you put that on in the customization bit, it then changes to the unconverted version. I'm just throwing an idea out there. I think that would give people a lot of, you know, that would satisfy people who would like the unconverted versions, but at the same time, it's taken down this whole black market, you know, because if people are spending thousands for freaking Neopets clout, you've really got to question what you do with your life. I mean, I really don't see, like I say, oh, if it makes you happy, then fine, but what, you know, that could go on so much better things, right? It reminds me of that whole, I don't know if anybody's seen the episode about the Grem that was $30,000. You know, it gets into that kind of level. I mean, of course, it's not in the tens of thousands, but it was in the thousands, which when you think about buying a Neopet, that's just absolutely ridiculous. Also, I am in the minority when it comes to unconverted Neopets, in that I kind of like them, I kind of like them converted, I mean. One of my favourite things that they updated with the new Neopets is the fact that you can put little outfits on them. I just freaking love that. I love that they can have a background. I love that they can have a little outfit. I like that you can put little accessories on them. I love it. It's just like such a nice thing. I mean, of course, yes, the unconverted style of so many of them are a lot cuter than the new one. but they had to kind of give them a generic look so that you could fit any kind of clothing on them, so I do understand that. For example, this is Rumor Blue. I give them all names like that. This is Rumor Blue the Bloomaroo, and as you can see, he's a baby Bloomaroo, and he's got a little pumpkin outfit. I dressed him up for Halloween, and he's just so cute. Look at the little guy. You know, Bloomaroos are my favourite. I freaking love Bloomaroos. Let's just take a moment to appreciate Bloomaroos. Look at all these Bloomaroos. They're just freaking brilliant. Okay, moving on. I can certainly see where the frustration comes from when people were talking about, look, we want unconverted, we want unconverted, we want unconverted. And then what the staff does is they have their own unconverteds that shouldn't exist, and then they just like try and cover it up and change, you know, when it was created. That, yeah, I would find that incredibly frustrating if that was something that I wanted, because then it's dishonest, you know? It would be one thing if they said, you know, sorry, we realised that this was the case. You know, any kind of, like, even if they explained it with, yes, but this was a staff member, like, even if that would have been, like, totally wrong, that would have been a lot better than lying. So, although I am personally a huge fan of TNT, the Neopets team, I can understand where a lot of the frustration comes in. I feel like if there's just a little bit more honesty, then the integrity is going to be saved a lot more. Now, in regards to UC Santa, this is the part of the drama that I was around for. I was seeing people, you know, I was seeing all of the Neopets groups explode over unconverted Neopets. And at the time, I remember seeing people go, UC Santa, UC Santa, UC Santa, and I did actually ask, hey, what does UC mean? And then people said, oh, unconverted, the old ones. And I remember thinking, really? I mean, okay, if you're that keen on the old art style, I guess. And that was pretty much it for me. When it comes to who UC Santa was and why they actually decided to spend this much time hyping up a load of people, I don't get it. I don't get why you would waste your time doing that. And the whole time they were going, oh, you're beggars, oh, you want this, oh, you want that, oh, you're so needy. I mean, you were hyping them up. What do you expect? If you're telling people, oh, look, I'm going to give away something for free, are you really going to be that surprised that people are asking for it for free? What do you mean you want this item for the intended price? How dare you, sir? You know? And of course, if you say that you were going to give away something that thousands of people want, don't be surprised when you get thousands of page views. Honestly, I feel like this was somebody that was just completely taking advantage of some people that were just, you know, having fun, wanting to play their game and enjoy themselves. And they knew that something would get a lot of attention, and then just went, ha, you gave me a lot of attention because I told you that you would get this, you know, highly sought after thing for free. You fool! Oh, you beggars, how dare you, you're so needy! You know, on the one hand, I could understand that if you were actually giving, because they did give away a couple of things, right? You know, there was no, okay, so we don't know whether the UC Santa troll was the original UC Santa. There's a little bit of, I don't know the word, like, confusion, I'll say, over that. I think that it was cruelty for the sake of cruelty, but I mean, if people are asking you for a lot of things and you've already given them some stuff, then maybe I can see where the frustration comes in. If they were the original UC Santa and they'd given away lots of stuff for free and people were being demanding, then yeah, I could understand why they would want to go, you know what, I'm so sick, if the people are going to beg, like, waste my time this much, then I'm going to waste their time. That I can kind of understand. But on the whole, I just think that they were just being mean. This seems like somebody with very little to do. I mean, what have you got going on with your life if you're spending all this time just trolling freaking Neopets nerds? I mean, come on. Also, I just absolutely love Neopets. Recently they actually had some trans Neopets. It was really cool. I'll see if I can find the animation, because I'm recording this before I'm finding certain things that I'm going to be putting over the video. You know, in my commentary here, I just kind of ad-lib, like, just blur out everything that I'm thinking. Absolutely none of this part is scripted, but if I can find the animation, over here I will be showing you some trans Ogryns, which are one of the Neopets. They actually had an animation where there was a traditionally male Ogryn in a dress and a traditionally female Ogryn in a suit, because, you know, the way that you change your gender, it kind of just changes the eyelashes, you know, because it was made in the late 90s, come on. And, like, that is just such a little subtle nod towards, like, trans rights and trans approval, and I love that. I love that they put that in. As, like, a trans guy that doesn't see myself anywhere, seeing a trans Neopet genuinely made me really happy. The only annoying thing was that that was part of an advent calendar, because they do an advent calendar where each day you get a little flash animation and an item, and then they have a thing where you can vote which of the animations were the best. So obviously I tried to vote for the trans Okrin one, but they messed up which picture was shown over which date, so people that were voting for the trans Okrin one ended up voting for this one where these Neopets were like baby Neopets were having a snowball fight. Which was cute, but it wasn't trans, so oh well, I know that was just an error, so hey, at least they tried their best. So, if you have made it this far, I would love to know what you think. Do you play Neopets? And if you do, were you involved in this drama? Do you want an unconverted Neopets? Were you somebody that got trolled? Like, I would love to know what other Neopets players think. Or if you were somebody that may have played Neopets back in the day and want to get back into it, I'd like to know your thoughts. Or if this is the first time you've ever heard about Neopets, let me know what you think as well. I'm really interested in different people's thoughts on this whole drama. And just thank you so much for listening. As I said, Neopets is something that's quite close to my heart, so this was really interesting for me to cover. You might have seen on my page that I now have a Patreon. So for just £2, you will get exclusive access to my blooper reel with unseen bits that I haven't yet posted on this channel. And at the highest tier, you will get your name in credits at the end of my videos. Bearing in mind that I post a video 5 times a week, that's a lot of videos you're going to get your name in credits on. If not, a little like and a subscribe on my channel help a lot. That brings us to a close for this episode of Hobby Drama. As I said, I absolutely love Neopets and I really enjoyed making this episode, so I really hope that everybody enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed creating it. If you did enjoy this episode, then just know that I will be creating another episode about drama revolving a knockoff site to Neopets, so that should be quite exciting. If you play Neopets or if you were involved in any of the unconverted drama, then I would like to know in the comments what your thoughts were on this whole debacle and on this episode. It would be great to know. And as I say at the end of every episode, if you enjoyed hearing from this subreddit or would like to hear from any other subreddit, then do let me know in the comments. Also, if there's any other kind of obscure drama that you would like me to cover, then do let me know as well. I'd love to hear from you. And until then, I'll see you all next time.